today we're going to be discussing the basics of the hormone ghrelin. We're going to be discussing what it is exactly, how it functions in our body, and its effects on the different systems of the body. So to begin with, ghrelin is a 28 amino acid peptide and hormone. Being a neuroendocrine hormone, it has numerous physiological functions in the body, which we will be discussing a little further down this presentation. So the majority of ghrelin is produced by the cells in the stomach, but there are other sites in the body which also have the ability to produce ghrelin. Sites including the small intestines, pancreas, and the brain. Though these other sites have the ability to produce ghrelin, the amount they produce almost make them insignificant compared to the amount produced by the cells of the stomach. So ghrelin's basic role in the body is to stimulate our appetite. You could even say a type of inbuilt survival mechanism, and it works off a feedback system. So to increase ghrelin production, there needs to be a stimulus, and the usual stimulus for ghrelin production is obviously hunger. But ghrelin production can also be stimulated automatically through the body's adaptation to your usual daily habits. In this case, your usual eating time. And external stimuli such as sight and smell of food can also increase ghrelin production. So increased ghrelin production means that there is now an increase in ghrelin plasma levels, which then travels all the way towards the brain where the hormone acts on the receptors located throughout the hypothalamus. Our appetite grows with the number of receptors that are activated. So the more receptors that are activated, the bigger our appetite becomes. As we consume food, ghrelin plasma levels decrease and continue to decrease with continued consumption. So a decrease in the number of ghrelin in our blood also decreases the number of receptors activated in the hypothalamus, signaling the brain to tell us that we are now satisfied hunger-wise. It should also be noted that carbohydrates and proteins are more effective at lowering ghrelin levels than fat. And ghrelin levels remain low after we finish consuming food, with the cycle starting again at the next stimulus. So as previously stated, ghrelin has numerous effects on other systems of the body apart from its main role that we have just discussed. To begin with, ghrelin has the ability to affect gastric acid secretion, and it does so by the exact way that gastrin does. Gastrin being our main hormone in the body for gastric acid secretion. They stimulate the ECL cells, which in turn release histamine. Histamine then stimulates parietal cells for gastric acid secretion. Ghrelin also has a major role in glucose homeostasis. Our bodies are built with many types of survival mechanisms, and ghrelin plays a part in one of them. So to prevent our bodies from having life-threatening drops in blood sugar levels, ghrelin stimulates food intake, and it has been discussed already, and it also inhibits the actions of insulin, preventing the storage of the sugar that has just been consumed. With gut motility, ghrelin's action takes place two different ways. The first way ghrelin affects gut motility is through the aretic nervous system, which is a self-contained system of the gastrointestinal tract, operating autonomously from the brain and has control over functions relating to enzyme synthesis and release, bicarbonate synthesis and release, bile secretion, pancreatic secretion, and changes to the gastrointestinal motility. So this system has ghrelin receptors located all over it, and when stimulated, it can have an effect on the upper gastrointestinal motility. The second way ghrelin can affect gut motility is through the vagus nerve. The role of the vagus nerve is to communicate with the parasympathetic nervous system, which has control over the heart, lungs, and more specifically for what we are currently discussing, the gastrointestinal tract. What this basically means is that the vagus nerve collects information and sends it to the brain, where that information processes, and then the appropriate actions will be carried out via the parasympathetic nervous system based on the information it's received. How ghrelin ties in with all this is that ghrelin has the ability to stimulate the vagus nerve, where it contributes to the information being sent to the brain that affects gut motility. And the final topic we're going to discuss about ghrelin's action on other systems of the body is its ability to affect growth hormone production. So ghrelin's action is not directly influenced on growth hormone itself, its effects being in the hypothalamus, where growth hormone releasing hormone neurons are produced. So as we all should know, but we'll review quickly anyway, growth hormone releasing hormone is produced in the hypothalamus, where it then travels to stimulate the pituitary gland to produce growth hormone. The way ghrelin affects production of growth hormone is by affecting the depolarization rate, increasing the rate of the growth hormone releasing hormone, thus increasing growth hormone levels. Finally, we're going to be discussing ghrelin in a disease state. So Prader-Willi syndrome is a disorder which affects the 15th chromosome, where part of the chromosome is deleted or not imprinted properly at the time of conception. And one of the side effects it has on its patients is appetite. Obviously, we have discussed the effects of ghrelin has on the appetite appetite, and in this regard, this disorder is associated with high ghrelin plasma levels. Though this could be thought to be a relatively simple case, obviously looking at the more plasma ghrelin levels there is, the bigger our appetite, the more we eat, the more obese we become, but it doesn't appear to be that simple with this disorder. The pathogenesis for obesity is still unclear with this disorder, with several proposed mechanisms as the cause, such as possible disruption in Thuong pathways of satiety control, aberration of the hormone itself, defective functioning receptors, to name a few of the theories. But what is understood is that ghrelin plasma levels have a role towards the obese state developing. More research is required for a more definitive answer in regards to pathogenesis. So that brings us to the end of our presentation. Thank you all for your time and attention. Hopefully this was informative for you. Thank you very much.